I'm Janice Thompson and I'm here with Karl Dawson, EFT Master and Trainer and creator of the wonderful technique Matrix Reimprinting. So would you just like to explain to me a little bit about what Matrix Reimprinting is?
Absolutely, Janice. Okay, so with EFT, it's very much about looking at information from past events that we re-experience and we tap to clear this information, so that when we look back at these events we feel better about it. With Matrix Reimprinting, we look at these past events and we actually imagine stepping in there, and by doing so we communicate with our younger selves. It's like literally stepping back in time to that moment of trauma. We use EFT to clear that information of these echoes, and then we create happy, positive memories. So instead of trauma, we can any traumatic memory very, very quickly, and usually with a very high success rate, we turn that into now a positive memory with, which is very important, very positive beliefs connected to that memory.
Okay, thank you. And how do you think Matrix Reimprinting can help with grief?
With grief, there is the understanding with grief that there's all these stages people should go through. But it becomes obvious, working with people who go through grief, it can create illnesses and diseases as the body's reacting to these events of loss and separation and abandonment and such. The body reacts in very clearly defined ways to these events. So by going back to, as soon as possible after the loss of resolving these issues with EFT and Matrix, you're not going to get rid of sadness where people feel like they just don't care, but the process will flow naturally. Your energy emotion should be energy emotion, where people feel the sadness and feel the loss, but it's a fluid process. Rather than years later holding on to all this pain, where they can't move on in life and they're just suffering every day. Certainly the people who've died would not want you to be holding on to all this, and you just see it's totally unnecessary. So and there's certainly a cultural belief around that we should hold on and be brave, everybody, and but what happens is we just never end up dealing with these issues, and so years later we're trapped and stuck in that moment. It just has far-reaching consequences for many parts of our life. So just to use these techniques to move through the trauma as quickly as possible, to just be left with a life you can carry on with, and just the happy, positive memories of the people that you've lost.
Brilliant. Okay. Have you got any examples of working with grief at all?
Working with grief, yep. Just let me think of one that comes to mind. Yeah, there was a lady whose husband, he was on the way back from London and had a car accident on the M40. Then when this lady came to see me, she was very much stuck. This was 5 years later. Levels of intensity were very high, even though it was 5 years, and you think by now she would be kind of moving on in life. There was so much that her and her husband had planned to do together, and she just felt like it would be betraying him to do any of these things. So she was working, doing nothing but work. She was a headmistress, and just stuck in her life. So we did several sessions on about the accident itself, and what she thought was partly her fault because she wanted him to come home that night, and just lots of negative beliefs and trauma. But what we found was that she then started to book holidays with friends and did some of the things that she was planning to do with her husband, but actually she wanted to do herself and could move on with life now without being feeling guilty or that she somehow betrayed him for just moving on in life. And instead of being at 10 with all that grief, that was down to a manageable level, a normal, healthy level. Of course, she still misses her husband, but life can carry on.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.